Good evening and welcome to the 2021 City of South Fulton State of the City Address. I'm Donna Lowry, your neighbor and host for the evening. We're so excited you have joined us tonight as we look back at an extraordinary year of challenges and triumphs that we worked through together with shared determination. We'll also provide insight into some of the things planned during the rest of 2021 and beyond as our city continues to rise. Let's get started with someone who became an international celebrity at the start of the year. From a family with numerous firefighters, Captain Andrea Hall rose through the ranks to become the first African-American woman to be named captain. A veteran of 28 years, she is the local chapter president of the International Association of Firefighters. But that's not why millions around the world may recognize her. The child of a deaf parent, Hall sent shockwaves around the world as she recited the Pledge of Allegiance at the inauguration of President Joe Biden. As a sign of the power of inclusivity, she not only spoke the 31 words of the pledge, she signed them as well in 31 seconds that moved the world. She's here tonight to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. She will be followed by Reverend Warren Henry, a pioneer in his own right, who will deliver our invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Join me right now as we go to God in prayer. Dear gracious God, we come with that attitude of gratitude. We are so grateful and we are so thankful. We are thankful, oh God, for everything that you've done for this season. So much so that in its theme is caught up, South Fulton Rise. From the very conception of the city to now, oh God, in every aspect, every department, and every phase, we have risen to where we need to be. South Fulton rise because of your goodness and your grace. South Fulton rise because of the wisdom and the knowledge that you have poured out in our mayor and our council. South Fulton rises, oh God, because of our city managers and department heads and all the employees. And yet South Fulton rise because of its citizens, but most of all because of you. We thank you for keeping us under your grace and under your power and under your love. Now as the city's chaplain, oh God, I ask you to allow the Holy Spirit to come in the midst of all that will and shall be said and done to empower us so that we will continue to rise and rise and rise, making South Fulton the place where everybody wants to rise in. This we pray. Amen.
I'm here at the new Adult Outdoor Fitness Center at Trammell Crow Park. It takes strong partnerships to build communities. Community is defined as a group of people living in the same place or having a particular characteristic or interest in common. That means people from different backgrounds, cultures, and experiences working together in pursuit of a common goal. In the city's case, that common goal is enhancing the quality of life. That takes people from every discipline, government, education, business, faith-based groups, and others, all pulling together in the same direction. We enjoy some strong and effective partnerships in the city of South Fulton. Let's listen as some of the city's key partners share what makes our connections successful.
As the website says, the city of South Fulton is where you want to be. It's not just a motto, it's a way of life. Hi, I'm Diane Matthews, President and CEO of the South Fulton Chamber of Commerce. On this occasion of the State of the City, I bring congratulations from our Board of Directors and the members of the South Fulton Chamber of Commerce for all of the accomplishments that Mayor William Bill Edwards and the City Council have made during such a short span of time. We are incredibly proud of you. As we all know, the City of South Fulton is a dream fulfilled, honoring the hard work and dedication of those whose tireless efforts made this dream of incorporation come true. Now that we are the city we've always dreamed of, I want to thank Mayor Bill Edwards and our City Council for all that you continue to do to make the City of South Fulton the best that it can be. We are very pleased with the outstanding departments and services that the city is providing, like our public safety, administration, human resources, parks and rec, arts and culture, Collab South, the Department of Tourism, and our CVB board and the Development Authority board, along with planning, zoning, permitting, communications, community engagement, and the list just goes on. Kudos to the dedicated staff, the board appointees, and the citizens who remain engaged to keep the City of South Fulton on the path to continued success. Mayor William Bill Edwards, we salute you and the City Council for all that you do to make the City of South Fulton our pride and joy. Thanks to you, good things are always happening in the City of South Fulton.
It is important for the City of South Fulton and the Fulton County School Board to partner, because out of the 18 schools that are in the city limits, you do the math, those are a lot of students and a lot of residents inside of our city. One example of our partnership is recently House Bill 445, which was sponsored by Roger Bruce, allows the City of South Fulton to incorporate unincorporated areas in Fulton County, which is south of I-20. As a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, Fulton County schools will and have received federal funding labeled CARES Act 1, CARES Act 2, and ARP, which is the American Rescue Plan. Fulton County Schools plans to use that money to help with our students in our learning deficit. These students have been in face-to-face and in virtual environments. Our virtual students, as well as our students who are in person, have experienced some learning loss. So starting this summer, we are implementing a summer program starting June the 7th. On June 7th, our students in elementary, middle, and high school will be able to receive additional supports in the areas that they need. So if a student is missing an area of reading or math, or they are a credit deficit in high school, and middle school will be really, really cool. It'll be a camp-like environment. So we will use those dollars responsibly. We will make sure that those dollars and the accountability is available on our school website. This year, the Fulton County Schools implemented a campaign labeled FCS Finish Strong. With FCS Finish Strong, we are encouraging all high school seniors to graduate. During the pandemic, many of them have been disconnected virtually. Also, they have started to earn a lot of money during COVID. So they don't think that the education is important for them. With that, our mayor has done a video labeled FCS Finish Strong, encouraging our high school students that their education is important. And it goes beyond COVID today. So we want you, our City of South Fulton residents, to make sure that your high school seniors are leaned in and they are ready to graduate. To assist them with that, Fulton County Schools are providing them with social emotional assistance. There have been many or some who've experienced loss during this time. Also making sure that their credits are restored. So anything that Fulton County Schools can do to encourage our high school students to graduate, that's exactly what we're here to do. So students, please finish strong. Your education matters, not just today, but in your future. Thank you so much to our taxpayers and residents for paying and spending the 1 penny sales tax for East Gloucester. With your help, Fulton County Schools was able to pay off our long-term debt. We are now debt-free. We are ending our capital program for 2022, which helps replace schools. It helps with our technology infrastructure. And as you can imagine, during COVID, Fulton County Schools never had a major outage with our network infrastructure, and that is thanks to you. We are now working towards our 2027 campaign for capital plans, and we will be doing those with your input. Thank you so much again for your investment in Fulton County Schools, and your 1 penny makes a difference. You may have asked, how can the City of South Fulton support Fulton County School students? You can support Fulton County School students by doing 3 things. 1, you can encourage your parents to register early for pre-K and kindergarten. 2, you can encourage your parents to sign up for summer school for their students. And 3, you can continue to provide parks and recreation services for our students, because we know that our students need more than just education inside the building. They need education and activities outside the building. Thank you so very much for everything that you do for our students. Thank you for allowing Fulton County Schools to provide you with an update, and enjoy the State of the City address.
John Lewis is nothing short of a legend, a Georgia icon. Lewis was one of the Big Six leaders of the groups who organized the 1963 March on Washington. He fulfilled many key roles in the civil rights movement and its actions to end legalized racial segregation in the United States. Our nation and the city of South Fulton, which he called home, owe him a huge debt of gratitude. Following Lewis's death last year, our next speaker was chosen to continue his legacy in Congress. Nikema Williams is the first Black woman, the third woman, and the second African American to chair the Georgia Democratic Party. She was a party delegate at the 2008, 2012, and 2016 Democratic National Conventions. It is my privilege to extend a warm South Fulton welcome to 5th District U.S. Representative Nikema Williams.
I'm Congresswoman Nikema Williams, representing Georgia's 5th Congressional District. It's an honor to represent the city of South Fulton in Washington, D.C., and be the voice for this historic district in Congress. I'm excited for today's State of the City address to learn how South Fulton continues to rise with resilience, inclusivity, strength, and experience. I know the work that was put in for this city to exist, and I am so proud of how far it has come. You've grown to become the state's 5th largest city. The growth of South Fulton speaks to the heart of this community, the dedication of our businesses to grow the local economy, and the commitment of local leadership to improve the quality of life in the city. Y'all, I've known Mayor Bill Edwards for a long time, and when he says that he's gonna get something done, he will get it done. And that's why I'm confident that South Fulton's best days are yet to come. Mayor Edwards couldn't do it alone, though. He's supported by a passionate city council that seeks to serve residents. And the city staff is remarkable as well. The staff has worked through adversity and stretched antiquated and limited resources to build public safety, parks and recreation, economic development, community affairs, and regulator development, and other departments comparable to the same services seen in much larger and older cities. Yep, y'all, South Fulton is a city on the move, and I'm not surprised, because after all, you're a part of the Fighting Fifth. You are who I'm fighting for in Congress. For example, as a member of the House Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure, and having met with Mayor Edwards and other mayors in the district, I've seen how Georgia desperately needs investments in infrastructure. It's refreshing that we finally have an innovative, bold, and visionary leader in the White House who understands that as we recover from the pandemic, we must also lay the foundation for future economic growth and ensure that our nation is competitive in the global economy for decades to come. President Biden's American Jobs Plan is a once-in-a-lifetime chance to create millions of good-paying jobs, bring our infrastructure into the 21st century, and build equality through infrastructure. We also passed President Biden's American Rescue Plan, which the people of the 5th District have benefited from. Over $877 million for public schools in Georgia's 5th District. More than $672 million for local governments to ensure funding for vital projects, and $31.2 million going directly to the city of South Fulton. $21.2 million for community health centers to expand access to COVID-19 vaccines in communities that were impacted the hardest. And y'all, there is so much more where that came from. So I'm looking forward to continuing this journey with you and working for you in Washington to address the needs of this city. Together, we'll continue to make sure that South Fulton is a place where people want to live and visit.
By now, I'm sure you're aware that the theme of tonight's presentation is South Fulton Rise. I don't want to steal the mayor's thunder by revealing the meaning of that title, but it's safe to say ours is a city on the rise. Incorporated May 1st, 2017, we've come a long way in the last 4 years. Our trajectory remains strong as we become one of South Metro's premier cities. To help celebrate our climb, please welcome the Westlake High School Chorus as they encourage us to rise up.
You're broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round, and you can't find the fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up in spite of the ache. I'll rise up and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up high like the waves. I'll rise up in spite of the ache. I'll rise up and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you. Silence isn't quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet and mountains, we gon' walk it out. Mountains, and I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up in spite of the ache. I'll rise up and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, all we need is hope. And for that we have each other. And for that we have each other. We will rise, we will rise, we will rise. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up in spite of the ache. I will rise 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the waves, I'll rise up in spite of the ache. I'll rise up and I'll do it 1,000 times again.
I'm standing along Fulton Industrial Boulevard, which is now part of the city of South Fulton, thanks to the efforts of our state delegation, our city council, and Mayor William Bill Edwards. While he is the traditional head of the city, the mayor cannot lead alone. Supporting him are 7 dedicated council members, each of whom remains committed to improving the quality of life and ensuring the security of all South Fulton residents. Here tonight to highlight some of our city's key priorities are council members Dr. Catherine Foster Rowell, Carmelita Gums, Mayor Pro Tem Helen Zenobia Willis, Naima Gilliard, Corey A. Reeves, Khalid Camus, and Mark Baker. It started with a desire for something better. A place people could call home and feel at home. In 4 short years, the city of South Fulton has come a long way. It has cut crime by double digits and is implementing a community policing policy that unites officers and residents in an effort to keep the city safe. South Fulton has pursued smart economic growth while minimizing the unexpected consequences that come with poorly planned development. With 2 arts centers and one of Georgia's best amphitheaters, the city has created a cultural arts program to entertain and educate. South Fulton, indeed, is a city on the rise.
By realigning the police beats for the first time in 40 years, our police officers are no longer racing from emergency to emergency. They have more time for proactive preventive patrols, as well as direct interaction with those they protect and serve. We've updated our patrol fleet through a cost-effective lease program that puts more cars on our highways and in our neighborhoods. We've also stepped up the pressure on narcotics trafficking, illegal street racing, and illegal ATVs with several major busts. Residents want a city where they feel safe. We're working to provide that.
Last year, we launched a cultural arts program with the acquisition of South Fulton Arts Center and Southwest Arts Center. Soon, we will be adding Wolf Creek Amphitheater. We're partnering with top groups including the Atlanta Opera, Serenbe Institute, and True Colors to bring world-class performances to those stages. At the same time, we're working with some of the best instructors in the area to offer classes in music, dance, art, spoken word, and other disciplines to enrich the lives of residents, young and old alike, while highlighting our local talent.
The nightmare of human trafficking has hit Metro Atlanta hard, including the city of South Fulton. The region is a major transportation hub for trafficking young women and has one of the nation's highest sex trafficking rates. This has to stop. Traffickers no longer creep around in dark vans. There are neighbors reaching out to potential victims on social media. We've partnered with local businesses to help educate residents on the signs of trafficking. We've created a task force to further engage them in finding innovative and effective solutions. By working together, we will help keep our young people safe.
The city of South Fulton, the city that has agriculture, is rural, suburban, and we're getting towards urban. The city with most of the vacant land than any other city. The city with wildlife. The city that has such a beautiful environment that we need to protect so that we will be sustainable. The future is important, and it's also important for us to have the type of development that blends in with the entire city, that is just so diverse as you go from district to district. So let's celebrate the city of South Fulton and the potential that we have.
Old National, Cascade, Roosevelt, Camp Creek, these are our major business districts where we go to eat, shop, and have fun. Some are seeing new development while others have seen better days, but they all remain the lifeblood of the city of South Fulton. It's time we focus some of our energy on revitalizing some of these areas and return them to the vibrant centers of commerce they once were. We are also working to eliminate blighted properties like you see behind me. We've upgraded traffic signals, and we are working to improve sidewalks to make these corridors safer. We've taken the necessary steps to ensure everyone plays by the rules and operating their businesses. Join us as we take our business districts to a whole new level. Rise up.
Transparency and access are vital to building trust between citizens and their government. South Fulton is your city, and you deserve to know how your tax dollars are being used. You should also be able to easily access all of our city services. Our city's website is your connection to do just that. I encourage you to visit our city's website and see all that it has to offer. Click the open.gov icon to trace every check written and every bill paid by our city. Click the Open Records icon to see all the laws we've passed concerning you and how each council member voted for them. Have a question or just want to report an issue? Use our C-Click-Fix app or dial our 24/7 customer service line at 311 or 470-552-4311. Here in South Fulton, we are here to serve you.
It takes focused work on many fronts to make a city successful. Public safety, economic development, recreation and the arts, environmental responsibility, and revitalization represent key ways the City of South Fulton is aligning services to capitalize on a diverse set of opportunities. Join us as we rise. In an historic election that saw more Georgia residents vote in a U.S. Senate election than ever before, Raphael Warnock became one of our 2 senators in January. A fervent champion for increased access to health care, Warnock is a friend and ally of South Fulton Mayor William Bill Edwards. So it is only fitting that he introduce the mayor as he brings us tonight's State of the City address. It is my pleasure to introduce U.S. Senator Raphael Warnock.
Well, hello, South Fulton. I cannot tell you how delighted and honored I am, deeply honored, to share with you and to be here virtually to help recognize the hard work and the accomplishments of this community over the last year. South Fulton played a major role in the historic election that gave me the great honor to serve as your United States Senator. A little over a week ago, I celebrated the first 100 days in office. I have to tell you, it's been a whirlwind of activity and engagement. I feel deeply honored because we have been doing things that are so consequential for people in our community. And because South Fulton, like communities all across our state, showed up at the ballot box, I'm happy to report that during my first 100 days, we've been able to deliver. We delivered direct checks into people's bank accounts and shots in their arms, standing up to a pandemic and the economic turndown created as a result of the pandemic. But in addition to that, we were able to get $5 billion in debt relief for farmers of color. We provided $8 billion to our state and local governments. We provided $2 billion additional dollars to help Georgia finally, hopefully, make up its mind to expand Medicaid. We passed hate crimes legislation to address Asian hate. We have been doing the work, and we're just getting started. Here in South Fulton, I am so impressed to see how far the city has come in just 4 short years. I'm glad to see the growing economic development activity, including the proposed $380 million mixed-use project on Old National Highway. That's good for that community. I'm also happy to see the city's focus on an investment in public safety, including new fire engines and equipment, as well as a new fleet of police vehicles. As my friend Mayor Bill Edwards often says, people won't go where they don't feel safe. And so thank you so much for the work that you are doing to ensure that people feel safe and that they know that South Fulton is a place where they can live and thrive and their children can grow. Speaking of Bill Edwards, I have to tell you that I've known your mayor for several years now. he was a great supporter of my recent campaign. I count him an ally, a friend, and a brother, and importantly, he is a fellow Morehouse man and my Alpha Phi Alpha brother. You know, we just had to get that in. But Mayor Edwards is someone I know who's committed to service. He loves this city, and he's working every day to make sure it's thriving. As he likes to say, good things, South Fulton. And so it's my great honor to introduce my friend and brother and your mayor, Mayor William Bill Edwards, as he now delivers the 2021 City of South Fulton State of the City Address. Mayor Edwards.
It's no secret, in the face of a global pandemic that has claimed the lives of more than 500,000 Americans, closed the doors of hundreds of Georgia businesses, and changed the dynamic of communities across the nation as we know it. We are truly living in unprecedented times. Never would I have imagined that I'd be standing here in our newly acquired Southwest Arts Center on this stage alone. But here we are, and here I am, healthy, strong, and more resilient than ever before. Good evening. I'm Mayor William Bill Edwards, and this is your 2021 State of the City Address. I used to tell people that by age 71, I've seen it all. Today, I know better than that because every day we have been challenged, tested, and tried by some of the most unpredictable circumstances. But one thing that has always been true about the city of South Fulton, and what you can always count on, is that we will rise to every single challenge and come out stronger than ever before. It's been a while, and although I wish you were here with me tonight, I know that you're watching this address from the safety and comfort of your home. And I know that you all are eager to hear about all that's happening in your great city. Tonight, I want to talk to you about some of our challenges, our greatest wins, and the future as we see it. When I think about the history of South Fulton, one word keeps coming to my mind: resilience. By definition, resilience is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties and tough situations. Now, doesn't that sound familiar? I mean, just take a look back at our track record. Our city was formed in the aftermath of a devastating tornado that tore right through neighborhoods here in South Fulton. The paper described this as unbelievable and destructive. We faced some of the hardest criticisms of any municipality I have ever seen. We're constantly scrutinized for our strategic government decisions. And while we have made strides in forging strategic relationships with the media, we have found ourselves in the past to be under constant fire in news stories. But just like the phoenix that rises out of the ashes, I've learned that we actually perform better under fire. South Fulton is no stranger to challenges, but we are also no stranger to hard work and the ability to bounce back and recover quickly from those challenges. And of all things I've seen during my time as your mayor, never would I have ever imagined leading a city in the face of a global pandemic. Last March, when we found out about the COVID-19 pandemic, we didn't hesitate to take action. In early March, with cases rising by the day, we were one of the first cities in the area to declare a state of emergency. We limited large gatherings, implemented a curfew, and eliminated indoor access to non-essential businesses. By early April, the City Council and I put in place a mandatory shelter-in-place order, and a few days later, we initiated the South Fulton United Fund. This was and is a partnership between Destination South Fulton and our friends in the South Fulton Chamber of Commerce to provide food to essential workers who are serving on the front lines of the pandemic. Later in April, we set up our first South Fulton COVID-19 testing facility, providing up to 400 drive-up tests per day. And later that summer, shortly after national cases exceeded 3 million and statewide cases increased by 100,000 per week, we knew something had to be done, and fast. So on July 8th, myself and the City Council put in place an emergency ordinance mandating the use of masks across our city. And thus was born your masked mayor. During the early days of COVID, all eyes were on us. Some would say it was because of the rapid rise of cases in the area, and that may be true. But I also believe that the national attention we gained was because of our quick response and ability to rebound in the face of a global crisis. And today, we are still rebounding, but now with more experience. Even with the implementation of the CARES Act initiative that provides financial assistance to residents who have been negatively impacted by COVID, we continue to make strides in the right direction towards a new normal. We have earned our stripes through this pandemic, that's for sure. And I'm so thankful to our council, first responders, and all the essential workers across the city for stepping up to the plate when they were needed the most. If you'll allow me to shift gears for just a moment. As you can see, I wear glasses occasionally because my eyes aren't quite what they used to be. But one thing is for sure, I still see things clearly, and I'm not colorblind. This is a peculiar time we are living in. In some ways, this is the era of opportunity, shedding light on issues that have been far too long swept under the rug. I would be remiss without acknowledging that the issue of racial inequality in this country is on the minds, tongues, and hearts of everyone. We have borne witness to tragedy after tragedy, all pointing back to the issue of systemic racism across the nation. This has created a heightened awareness and sensitivity to what it means to be a minority in this world. I want to be clear in saying that South Fulton is a melting pot. This is a place where minorities strive. Serving as one of Georgia's most predominantly minority-led municipalities comes with its own unique challenge. But as challenging as it can be in times, that is the very thing that makes us stand out and step up when called upon. I was so proud that one of our very own, Captain Andrea Hall, was called to represent South Fulton in the presidential inauguration ceremony. She beautifully delivered the Pledge of Allegiance in sign language. Such a remarkable representation of the diversity of our community, and the entire nation was able to sit back and watch. South Fulton stands as a model for what local government has always intended to be, a representation of its residents and the community it serves. We prioritize the needs of all of our residents and make it a point to directly confront and demolish inequalities that challenge the very premise of what we represent, inclusion. We are inclusive because we need everyone connected and on one accord at the same time to demonstrate our true strength as a community. We are stronger together. And speaking of strength, South Fulton is getting stronger by the day. Have you visited the Wolf Creek Amphitheater lately? I passed it the other day, like I have countless times before. But this time, something felt different. Maybe it's the fact that it wasn't full of residents like I'm used to seeing it. No, that's not it. You know what I think? I think seeing that facility the other day felt different because that was the first time that I saw it as a newly acquired City of South Fulton Wolf Creek Amphitheater. You heard me right. Just last month, we were so excited to grow our network of arts facility by acquiring the Wolf Creek Amphitheater. It's the perfect space. That outdoor venue will allow us to strengthen our arts and cultural program by bringing the community together for concerts, large-scale productions, and other performances. Consider it the new COVID safe gathering spot for our community. We have plans to host graduation ceremonies for our area high schools, seasonal festivals, and other events for our residents. There are big plans ahead, and we're so excited to have acquired that beautiful space. We're also excited to own and operate the South Fulton and Southwest Art Centers. I'm standing in the Southwest Art Center right now. This will be home to world-class performances as we forge relationships with such groups as the Atlanta Opera, Serenbe Institute, and of course, True Colors. And speaking of plans, it's hard to go down the list of the city's recent wins without mentioning the capital improvement projects happening throughout our beautiful city. It seems like just yesterday when we voted and approved the $17 million capital improvement plan through our new Urban Development Authority. This plan will help renovate our parks, upgrade our fire stations, and pay for the construction of our new public safety facility right here in South Fulton. Now, it's no secret to anyone at this point, I'm passionate and a huge advocate of public safety. I say it all the time, people won't go where they don't feel safe. I hear a lot of talk about safety and how our officers are not making a dent in crime. Let me share a few things with you. First, from January 1, 2020 to now, our closure rate for homicide cases is 96%. 24 homicides have been reported in that time. Our investigators have closed 23 of those cases, including all 4 this year. Just in the last several weeks, our police have broken up drug superstores where people gathered like they were at the flea market buying and selling narcotics, cracked a sex trafficking operation, and rescued a 16-year-old victim, shut down a Mexican cartel meth lab and cockfighting ring, stopped a street racing incident in which 90 drivers and spectators were charged and 45 cars were seized. Now that's strength. And since we're talking about strength, we know that a city is only as strong as its police and fire departments. That's why I made it my priority, and it's the priority of our city council to continue putting the safety of our residents and this community first. We have been so busy making improvements to our public safety arms across the board. Last January, we invested in the purchase of new fire engines and equipment for the City of South Fulton Fire Department. And boy, did that investment prove to be necessary. We've seen a significant decrease in response times and more effective services delivered by our world-renowned fire department since we made those purchases. But it's not just response time that we are focused on. We also prioritize the safety of our firefighters who serve as the frontline first responders of this community. That's why we invested nearly $1 million in the purchase of new safety equipment for our fire personnel. Things like breathing apparatus and personal protection equipment were very overdue to be replaced. We just couldn't afford to put our brave men and women at risk. And ultimately, this contributed to more efficient, effective, and a stronger fire department. Now, I'm aware that in today's climate, the relationship between police departments and their communities have become very strained. Here in South Fulton, We continue to implement community policing as a tool to help decrease crime and build trust between residents and our law enforcement. We are seeing our law enforcement presence continue to grow stronger and response times continue to decrease, creating a more effective operation of policing here in South Fulton. We value the men and women that serve on our police department, as well as the residents of this community. That's why we recently invested in body cameras and other street equipment. Our goal is to continue down the path of transparency and trust. One of the issues that we continue to tackle here in South Fulton is excessive speeding throughout our community. This has been an ongoing problem for years, and we are finally able to begin cracking down on drivers who endanger our residents by driving recklessly. The Renaya Major School Zone Safety Program has helped to significantly decrease speeding in the city by placing speed enforcement cameras in each of our 16 school districts. Since those cameras were installed, we have seen more than an 82% drop in the number of speeding citations. Our children are safer thanks to that initiative, and I'd like to see that progress continue in the months and years to come. So far, I've talked to you about how South Fulton is resilient in the face of a global pandemic, how we are inclusive of all residents, even in the light of racial tension in our country, and how we continue to show strength by empowering those who protect our communities and keep our residents safe. While ensuring the safety of our community, we must also protect the integrity of our neighborhoods. Our Community Development and Regulatory Affairs team has just completed a rewrite of our zoning ordinances. This will allow us to strategically balance and control where new developments are placed so that our neighborhoods remain strong. Just this week, we were awarded a $120,000 grant from the Atlanta Regional Commission that will help us fund a targeted study to revitalize the old National Corridor. We are committed to restoring the historic integrity of that central part of our community. Last fall, we introduced the city's first economic development strategic plan. This plan is a community-driven process that helps guide our decision-making and lays out the foundation of our economic development objectives. We're also working on the 5-year update of our comprehensive plan, allowing us to better manage our services. This is a team effort, and we cannot do this alone. We will be sharing details of our progress in just a few days on May 18th. I am calling on all of you to participate in that conversation. Your input is valued and needed. I'd like to turn one last corner tonight by talking about something that I have gained and continue to gain as I serve as your mayor. No, I'm not talking about the extra pounds I got from quarantine. I'm talking about experience. To be such a young city, we have experienced a whole lot in a short amount of time. That experience contributes to our strength and resilience, which helps us grow. When I think about the experience of our city, I think of how we learned early on the importance of strategic partnerships. No man is an island, and a big job like running a successful municipality requires all hands on deck. We have built relationships from the top down, making connections in Washington, D.C., partnering with our state delegation, as well as our neighboring local government bodies. I said it before and I say it again. We are stronger together. We are continuing to support small businesses of this community with the opening of our new Main Street and Collab South offices. We are embarking on new development projects to grow our business portfolio and diversify the types of businesses you'll find in South Fulton. And remember early when I said, people won't go where they don't feel safe. Well, that can also be said about the ability to receive a quality education. I am a believer that people won't go where their children can't be educated. We are continuing to partner with Fulton County Schools to help bridge the gap between our community and those responsible for educating the next generation of leaders. That's an ongoing relationship that I am proud of. Let me say that in the area of finance and maintaining a balanced budget, the city of South Fulton is financially strong. Even in the recovery of a global pandemic, our general fund revenues are just over $80 million, and our expenditures are just over $72 million. That's 10% under budget. We just implemented 2 tax allocation districts on the east and west sides of the city. This will help ensure that the infrastructure and area improvements that you help pay for are happening in your neighborhood. In my experience as mayor, some of the greatest lessons I've learned is that in order for a community to thrive, you must invest in its quality of life. That's been on the front of my mind and the minds of our council members since the very beginning. We've made great progress in this area with projects like the pedestrian safety plan for Washington Road Corridor. This is an ongoing partnership between South Fulton and the Atlanta Regional Commissions, specifically the current 5-year update of our comprehensive plan. We want to increase walkability in our community, but do so as safely as possible. We've already been able to see the results of this partnership in the form of new sidewalks being installed on both sides of the road, benches and shelters at all bus stops, and improved lighting for pedestrians. Aside from that, you may have noticed that we are beginning to install new traffic signals in busy areas like on Flat Shoals Road. And we're cracking down on the issue of littering in our community with our Clean City program that regulates illegal dumping in hotspots throughout our city. Beyond litter, we have launched the South Fulton Beautification Project that provides you opportunities to join us and making our city more attractive than others in the area. We're headed down a path to become a certified green community. We've heard your concerns, and we are taking action to enhance the appearance of our neighborhoods. I love the way our residents don't hesitate to bring things to our attention. I encourage you to keep holding us accountable and our city to a higher standard. South Fulton, against all odds, is still headed in the right direction. We have proven ourselves resilient, inclusive, strong, and experienced. We've been tried and have shown up each time as a true governing body that values its residents and the quality of life within its community. None of our accomplishments would have been possible without our amazing staff. We pride ourselves in recruiting some of the nation's top talent to lead this governing body. Our leadership team is growing. I'd like to take a moment and shout out just a few of our team members who have hit the ground running. Thank you to our new city manager, Tammy Sadler-Jones, our new assistant city manager, Don Toms, the newest addition to our fire department, Fire Chief Chad Jones, Gary Leffridge, our new Communications and External Affairs Director, Vincent Hyman, our new City Attorney, Tanisha N. Graham, our new HR Director, and of course, a special thanks to my peers who make up South Fulton City Council. Thank you all for your leadership and oversight. None of the success I've talked about would be possible without you. We continue to navigate through the COVID-19, strengthen the relationship between law enforcement and residents, foster relationships between our national and regional leaders, strengthen our economic development arm by supporting businesses in our community as they begin to recover from the pandemic, continue making visual improvements throughout the city, and crack down on crime. We will continue to see South Fulton rise. We are soaring to new heights with each passing day. And although the smoke can appear thick at times, we will continue to rise, more resilient, experienced, and stronger with each challenge we face. Thank you for joining us on this journey of reflection tonight. Until next time, I am your mayor, William Bill Edwards. Remember to wear your mask, practice social distancing, and be safe. Good night.